You know, there are many hula that are just for children and that children should be dancing. Not all hula are for children. In fact, there are many hula that are for adults because the focus is an adult focus. The theme is an adult theme. So what are some hula that would be suitable for children to dance? All right, in hula kahiko, a hula that I learned when I was a child was the hula pa'i umauma, a hula noho called a hiloau. Another hula that I learned when I was a child was kavika. As I grew older, we began to dance songs like Ulu Palakua and Boy from Laupahoehoe. This is a natural transition and a natural movement in the hula. Remember, the keiki will grow up to become the opio, the teenager. The opio will grow up to become the makua, the parent. The makua will grow up to become the kupuna, the grandparent. It is a learning experience, and at each level, you learn the mele, the songs that are appropriate for each level. This is Maikai. Oya ho'iha, it is the true tradition of our hula. Mahalo. You know, for a wedding, the marriage of two people coming together as husband and wife, there are many beautiful songs that the theme is about the everlasting love between the couple, whomever the couple is going to be. If you're going to honor them with a song, choose one of these songs. For example, Kapilina. Kapilina talks about two people coming together in a relationship. Kawailehua is a song that talks about the rain. Now the rain is a symbol of prosperity and good luck. We all need water to survive. The aina, the land, needs water. The rain falls from the sky, it nourishes the land, and new things grow. We drink water, we get good health. Choose appropriately the song for the wedding, a song that speaks about aloha, a song that reflects goodness, continuity, prosperity for the newlyweds. So there are many songs. My advice, find someone you can talk to, a good teacher that can guide the process if you want to choose a good song. I gave you 2 suggestions, but of course, there are many more. Mahalo. You know, today in Hawaii, we have kane hula, we have wahine hula, we have keiki hula, we have palua hula, couples hula. All right, those terms came about because of competition. There was only one term, it was called hula. You dance the hula. What determines it being the hula is traditional hula steps. Kahela, kaholo, Ka'avelu, Uehe, Ami, Oniu. These are traditional hula steps. And these are the steps that make hula the hula tradition. So whether it is kane hula, wahine hula, or partner, palua hula, it's still hula. So my advice is to concentrate first on those hula steps, to make sure you're doing those hula steps correctly. executing them the best you can with proper timing. That's what I would ask everybody in hula to focus on. The second point would be the extension of the movements. Remember, the movements of the hula, ke kuhi a kalima i ka hula, is a direct reflection of the words of the mele or the song. With the hands, you create the image of those words. So these are 2 points I would advise everyone in the hula, whether you're kane, wahine, keiki, makua, or kupuna. Hula is hula. Now let's all do it correctly. Mahalo. So, the goddesses of Mauna Kea include Poliahu and her sisters. There is Lilinoi, there is Kahopokane, and there is Vaiau, and another sister, Kaniakolea. These sisters live at the top of Mauna Kea at a place known as the Vauakua, the domain of the Akua. Therefore, the tops of the mountains are very, very spiritual places. All tops of mountains are associated with gods and goddesses, like Poliahu, Lilinoi, and Waiau. These sisters have different kinds of kinolau or manifestations. The mist, the rain, the lake, the water, the clouds, all of them have unique manifestations because they are hula goddesses also. So the movement of the mist is the movement of that hula. The movement of the cloud reflects the goddesses. The movement of the water also reflects the goddesses. So this is a connection between the goddesses of Mauna Kea and, of course, the hula tradition. Now, on Mauna Kea, the lehua grows. Also, the maamane. The maamane and the lehua, both symbolic of the goddesses of Mauna Kea, all of the goddesses of Mauna Kea. Well, if you don't have lehua and you don't have maamane and you're looking for a lei to adorn your costume, I would pick a red flower or a yellow flower. The red for the red lehua blossom, the yellow for the yellow maamane. What are the colors of the costume? I would look at the mo'olelo, the history of the snow goddesses. They actually have 2 colors. In the winter, they wear white, and in the summer months, they wear the color yellow. Yellow to reflect the sun and sunlight, white to reflect the snow and the clouds of Mauna Kea. So when you are trying to discern proper adornments, vehi o ka hula, and proper clothing, lole o ka hula, you have to go and read the story, study the history, study the traditions of the mountain, especially Mauna Kea and the goddesses of Mauna Kea. And by studying that, you will glean an understanding. If that doesn't work, then you have to talk to somebody like me, and I will share that with you. Mahalo. So the question is about washing the pa'u skirt. For that matter, I wear pa'lule for hula, my shirts. I wear lole vavai, which is my pants. Do I wash those things? Of course. After a while, they get dirty. The mana is not going to leave it because you wash it. And the more you use it, the more mana will be imbued in your clothing. It's like you wash your body, but your body has mana. You have to wash your clothes. So that is not a true tradition of the hula. The mana is not going to leave anything. The mana stays with you. It stays with your clothing. What I would say about the tradition of clothing is you never let people borrow your hula clothing. That's for sure, because it is your mana on your lole hula. That one is true. Second, you always take care of your lole hula, your a'ahu hula, because again, all of the mana that comes from your body while you're doing all the hula performances are imbued in your clothes. So your clothes and your lei is very special. It's like with the lei you wear for the hula, you should never give it away. And this is a perfect place to talk about that. What you do is you take your leis, you can deposit it in the ocean, you can deposit it in a river, you can bury them, you can take them and hide them in the forest, you can let them dry, and you can burn them. But you never give away something so close to your body, especially when you're doing a hula performance, because your mana goes into the lei. You don't want people to get a hold of that lei. That's not good. And that's true. Mahalo. So if it is a pele chant, the honorific he inoa no hi'iaka ikapoli o pele has to be uttered because it is a part of the format of the hula. You begin by giving the name of the hula, the mele hula. You perform, you kahea each and every verse. At the very end, your last kahea, he inoa no hi'iaka ikapoli o pele, because you want to bring into focus the person for whom the mele is dedicated. And by calling out their name, you're giving them honor, you see? And that's really, really important. If it was an ali'i he inoa no kavika, if it was for a piece of aina, he inoa no ke alohi, you always have to do that. It's part of our tradition. Ike aku ike mai, to recognize not only the dance, but to recognize for whom the dance is honoring. And that's for every song. You have to honor the person with he inoa no iaka ikapoli o pele, honor with the honorific at the end of each mele hula. And it's an integral part. You cannot take that away from the hula tradition. It's in the hula tradition. Mahalo. Well, in the old days about cutting hair, in the old days, when people went into the halau hula for training, they were not allowed to cut fingernails as well as hair. Well, what was the reason for that? It's a very deep, deep reason, and that is jealousy between teachers, schools, and kahuna. It's an old tradition. When you cut your hair, you take that hair and you put it in a very safe place. Same as nails. You cut it, you put it in a safe place until you can dispose of it all, if that's what your choice is. Some people choose to keep it. Some people, again, take it to the ocean, to the river, or to the forest. There are places for these sacred things, because like the clothing, like the lei, like everything in hula, everything is imbued with the mana. Is it a part of the beauty of the hula? Yes, it is. Traditionally, women cut their hair usually after the first child is born. That's an old tradition. While our wahine or women are young, we are taught not to cut the hair. So these are old traditions concerning lauoho or hair. and now the fingernails, you see. Again, because they're imbued with the mana, you do not want to casually discard them. You have to discard them with protocol and ceremony to safeguard the person, because that's connected to the person. So again, it does have some reflection about the beauty in the hula, the movement of the hair along with the costume, but I think it's deeper than that, like I have explained. Well, I'm going to speak for myself and for my hula school. We have traditions about what they do with their fingernails. We have traditions when they can cut their hair, at what length, how much they can cut, and when they can cut. Now, each halau has their own traditions, and each halau has their own ceremony and protocol. Everyone is going to be unique, but yet our focus is the same, safeguarding these things that are imbued with the mana that are connected to the hula dancer. So each halau will have their own tradition concerning hair and nails and anything else that has to be discarded from the hula dancer. Thank you. Mahalo. You know, so let's see, I've been dancing hula since the late 1950s. I've never heard of that tradition, and I have danced with many of the great kumu hula. I have danced with Auntie Iulani Luahine. I have danced with my own grandmother, Iva Vahiniali Rowan Kanae, who trained with Auntie Sally Woods, who trained with Sampua Ha'aheo. There are so many teachers I could mention. We learned to pa'i the ipu, we learned to care for our hula instruments, we learned about costuming, leis, and every tradition of the hula. And I've never heard that tradition about don't lay the ipu sideways. Well, again, I have to say each teacher has their own tradition. This tradition I've never heard of. This tradition we don't practice, but the tradition we do practice is the ipu is very, very sacred. And when you play the ipu, and when you pa'i the ipu, and when you chant, that all becomes again a part of the essence. Now, in the old days, they had many, many kahuna that practiced good magic and bad magic. There was a kahuna called the kahuna apoleo that would steal people's voices. They would capture the person's voice. And the true tradition is this: you never pray or talk or chant into an ipu. You never, ever, ever do that. The kahuna can take that ipu, take your voice, and hold it a prisoner in that ipu, and it will be very hard to regain your voice back. These are true hula traditions. Now, these are the traditions that I learned from the old teachers. These are the traditions that you're hearing now from me. And when you talk about these traditions, remember who told you that. I told you that. Mahalo. Yes, that one is in the costumes. So at this time, because of COVID-19, and now we have the Delta variant in Hawaii, we have around 900 plus tourists coming to Hawaii a day. That connection from Hawaii to Japan that started many, many years ago with our King David Kalakaua, we can still perpetuate that relationship, that love, that tradition of aloha through dancing the hula. I would advise the people in Japan to stay connected to your kumu hula in Hawaii. That is your link. You see, you are connected to our piko, our tradition, our teachers. Stay connected to your kumu hula from Hawaii. Continue to dance, continue to perform, continue to sing. And when you dance the mele about Hawaii, and when you sing the mele about Hawaii, and when you chant the mele about Hawaii, you are still connected. You're not disconnected, you're connected. There is imagery, beauty, grace, tradition, dignity in all of the mele, in all of the songs. Sing those mele, stay connected. Dance those mele, stay connected. Chant those mele, stay connected. We will never be separated. Ho'omau, continue to perpetuate. Mahalo and aloha kākou.
アロハ、ジャルパックハワイの笹澤です。
佐々木です。
フラフォーラーのアロハはジャルパックが主催し、オフィシャルツアーでは現地ジャルパックハワイがお手伝いをさせていただきます。
安心安全にお楽しみください。お待ちしております。アロハ。